So, I previously made a video on Young Justice compared to Teen Titans, and I got some concerned viewers who pointed out some flaws in my point, which I love. Please do that more. I've found that I say a lot of things with full confidence and I'm completely wrong or just straight up don't care enough to check. So, if you feel differently or have better facts, tell me, so I don't look stupid. Anyway, a bunch of people started talking about how the first season was actually good and how it was just season 2 and beyond that was trash. So I decided to rewatch the first season and see if I was wrong in my harsh judgment. And the answer? No, I wasn't. I'm always correct. But I did have some changes in my original critique. So let's run through Young Justice and see if it was actually good. I'm gonna try and be more fair, so I'm gonna point out the good and the bad in the show, kind of like a compliment sandwich. The first episode introduces us to our boys. In rewatching this, I remembered how I hate Speedy's character design. I know that's what he looks like in the comics, but in this art style and with everyone else around him, he looks like a dork. Change your hat and your shirt. Change it all. Change your vibe, man. He looks like he's a third wheel in their friend group. Like he didn't really want to be there and was just goofing around when the squad showed up completely decked out. Anyway, moving from Speedy hate, they go to the Hall of Justice, I think is what it's called. Shout out to our short king Robin, rocking it. Roy is mad they don't get to see all of the hall, which is so valid. So he has a freak out and he quits. Okay, some notes. 8 minutes in, let's do this. I don't know enough about these characters to make this a valid diva meltdown. Our pilot episode should be the boys proving themselves to be in the league. They should fight a big villain, be shown working well together and by themselves without a hero, and finally proving themselves to be useful without supervision. Then we can see how the heroes react and see that they've been waiting for this for a long time. We can also see the Justice League's promises and see just how much they lied to our kiddos. And it's usually better in hero shows to attract the crowd's attention with fights and quippy banter. Especially in an animated series, your pilot episode is usually better animated than the rest of your show. This is because it's the first thing your audience and usually producers are going to see. It's made to make an impression and draw you in so that in the future you don't care if the animation is bad. That's why so many people watch Miraculous Ladybug, because of the stormy weather episode.
Hey, Goldilocks! Is that all you got?
Roy walks out, Superman calls and is like, Batman, I need you, bring the others, there's this fire. Batman is like, okay, you guys stay put. So the gang starts talking and agree that they are being treated badly. Naturally, imposter Tim Drake hacks into the Batcave, figures out what's going on, and decides he's going to solve the case before Batman. Wally, of course, wants to go with him, and Cal comes too because no one wants to leave those Chaos Twins alone for too long. They break in, learn about the mind-controlled clones, and find cloned Superboy. No notes on that. They do good fighting. So far, so good. I feel like it would be better if Robin was more apprehensive to let Connor go, but was talked into it by Wally and Cal. I mean, the kid was raised by the Bat himself. He would think this guy was a weapon, for sure. Besides that, so far, so good. The characters are fun. We're all having a good laugh. A little confused at the beginning that one of our main characters left within the first 5 minutes of the episode, but you know, who cares? So this is the pilot so far. We are introduced to 17 characters in this one episode. You think I'm lying? Allow me to name them. We meet Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, Aqualad, Speedy, Kid Flash, Robin, Superboy, Guardian, Dr. Desmond, Icicle Jr., Mr. Freeze, Killer Frost, and Captain Cold. This is so much information. Imagine showing this to a kid who's never heard of DC heroes before. There's no way in hell they remember all that. Don't get me wrong, the pilot is good. It's not great, but it's good. The characters' relationships got my attention and I wanted to see a lot more of them. But that doesn't mean it's without issues. Now, I can forgive a lot of things in a pilot. It's your first go. You don't really know what's going on. You're testing the waters blindly to get audience reactions, then changing them accordingly. I get it. There's also just such an issue with pacing. Who is the villain? Who are we supposed to be scared of? I'm so confused. These are pretty big villains. I'm assuming I never read Aquaman comics, that they're just swiping away like it's no big deal. I mean, compare it to Teen Titans. Yes, I know, this isn't what this video is about, but hear me out for a second. Your big bad Slade is shown, yes, but not fully, and he's kept in the shadows. He's also shown tormenting some guy right off the bat. The villain is the sludge monster, but you know there's something more going on. Young Justice's villain in the first episode is an evil scientist. You're telling me we couldn't have had some of that? You think I'm joking, but I'll compare it to something else. X-Men, the original animated series. Within the first 3 minutes, Jubilee is being tracked down by a Sentinel. Not only that, but by the end, our X-Men have to break into a government facility to save Jubilee and mutants alike. Morph dies in the second episode, and I never not once felt like the pacing was dragging or going too fast. For all of the hate I'm giving it, it's an okay start for the show, and I'm glad they resolved that arc and introduced all of the characters. You couldn't have told me it's 2 parts? 2 episodes in and I still don't know all of the characters? This is moving so slow. Episode 2, gang gets caught. Whoops. They're like, Superboy, let us out and we'll show you the moon. He's like, alright, bet. They run out and blow the place up. We learn that Superboy cannot fly, but just does the jumpy thing, I guess. I'm not really sure. They're running, they're trying to escape, all this good stuff. They did a good job of choreographing everything. Only weird thing is, while our heroes are running and fighting to escape, like heroes do, our villains are just slowly riding the elevator until they get to sublevel 1. I, as a viewer, am supposed to feel the stress of the situation, and it's kind of hard when the girl from Ipanema is playing while the elevator dings. I feel like maybe not showing this doctor guy that also sucks and is lame chasing the kids around with his iPad, he shouldn't be shown, or should be shown stationary, giving directions/instructions to the others. I know it's this lizard thing doing the work, but that's where my other point comes in. Don't show this guy. I'm supposed to feel like there would be harsh consequences for the kids' actions and that this is a serious situation. And I don't when all of the villains are just so derpy. I mean, Wally literally says the Justice League are going to kill them for doing this, but I'm not really experiencing any pressure. I mean, I feel like I'm running from Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Like, this is crazy. By not showing this lizard guy and keeping the doctor as a stationary villain makes them feel more scary. Like, they aren't scraping to get the kids, but they almost don't care, and they're more confident that they will, in fact, catch them. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. I love an egotistical, arrogant villain, what can I say? I also feel like these episodes are so long. My ADHD brain can't handle this. The gang is running. There's a bunch of running in this episode. Dr. Doofenshmirtz goes to get something while the others cut off the team. They pass out, and the lizard guy is like, "Be our alien Jesus, Superboy." Superboy's like, "I'm leaving." And this lizard guy just straight up lets them go. He's like, yeah, whatever, you want to see the moon? That's fair. Doctor runs in and drinks this serum and basically turns into Dr. Connor. Lab coat slams Superboy through the ceiling. I bring this up because I thought it was cute the way Wally grabs onto Robin without even thinking. What besties. I love them. Okay, compliment sandwich time. I love that Superboy can't really fight. That's a good detail. I mean, he's lived in a pod his whole life. Of course he can't. Bad thing. This fight is so slow. I feel like I need to watch it at 2 times speed because everything is happening at a snail's pace. Side note, I don't know why I thought of this, but I love it when heroes fight like really big villains and was running around while it like moved like all slow and clunky. I like physics. Okay, last good thing. I feel like Wally and Dick working well together and Cal kind of just having to make it work with them is really fun. That's super good characterization. It really shows that Dick and Wally are much closer than the rest and confide in each other. Also, why does this boy carry around chalk? What? Who lets him do that? Anyway, they fight the guy, win, Superboy sees the moon, and we all know how I feel about this. Superman should not be an asshole. Superboy's just trying to find the guy he's modeled after. He literally wants to be a good guy like him, and Superman just couldn't care less. Like, calm the hell down, bro. Batman's laying down the law, and they're like, honestly, I don't care. If I want to commit war crimes, I will. And the League totally agrees to it, no argument. It was truly that easy. I wish we could have seen the kids on super probation or something. Then you could have them teaching Connor about the world, show more bonding. That would be a good time to introduce Miss Martian. And if we had the pilot I created, it would show the kids finally breaking off from their super counterpart and bonding to make their own team, instead of kidnapping Superboy, living in a cave, and Miss Martian just being forked onto them. Good character moment here. They tell the kids that all of their missions will be secret and not very public. Why? To protect their lovely boys, of course. I love the protective parent aspect of the League, and I feel like it's not used enough. So everything is set up and our gang can go on real missions. Only it's not all set up and they aren't going on real missions yet. Yeah, you know all that story stuff we just did for 2 episodes? Well, it's not the end, so don't even think it. This is where I have issues with the pacing, can you tell? Miss Martian shows up at like the last 5 minutes of the episode. Okay, before I be mean, let's say a good thing. I love that Dick has to direct Connor to do like human things. That came out wrong. Like directing him to be social and do like social stuff. That's good character development. Having a character like Con is hard, but it's easier to write a person like that when you surround him with a good cast, which is what they did. Following Con's arc, it would make sense that when he leaves the facility, he would only really trust or listen to the people who saved him. I mean, think about it. He wakes up and the first people he meets get captured and trapped in the same way he was. So not only is he taking away the life he wanted from someone else, but he's giving up the opportunity to have his own life. Of course he would want to be with them. They're giving him the chance to be, well, human. Unfortunately, the writers went a little too hard with the anger issue side of things. Instead of it coming off as a character who's hard to understand, just comes off as a jerk. I feel like so much story has happened in so little time, but also like nothing has happened at all. Does anyone else feel like that? Do they feel like that when they watch this? Because I do. Maybe there's something wrong with me. They could have made this a full season arc if they wanted to. I'm glad they didn't, don't get me wrong. Next up, Roy's on his own and he's doing stuff. The gang shows up and is like, join us. He's all angry too because everyone's just gotta be going through something. Oh my word. He says no. Okay, I forgot to mention this. I hate the theme song. I think about like the X-Men theme and Teen Titans. Danny Phantom.
He's a phantom.
And Invader Zim. We could have done better, guys. This sucks. It's not good. Now a good thing. Episode 3 is when Con has his freak out over M'gann's powers. Good. It's very good. You know, I love trauma. I love the angst. I feel like it's good to have a character learning social skills and a character learning human customs. It's a good balance. They fight this Twister guy. Red shows up and gets reprogrammed or something. I wasn't really paying attention. Turns out bad guy is a robot. This guy's trying to find the kids. Anyway, episode 4 is boilerplate stuff. Episode 5 is all about Superboy going a little nuts because he has daddy issues. That was pretty good.
Great, he's gone ballistic again.
It was also another kind of slow one, but has good character moments, so I'll forgive it. And Artemis is here. Yay! Another super angry character that's being a jerk to everyone. Here's the thing. I understand why Artemis is the way she is. She was raised to be on guard and to never let anyone in. But she was also raised to be resourceful. Sure, she doesn't have to bond with the team right away, but she does need them to move forward with getting away from her past. I feel like instead of being all mean and rude, she would be more of a recluse. Not really trusting anyone, but not pushing them away just yet. I mean, keep in mind, these are the last people she has. I'm imagining giving fake names, fake stories, fake backgrounds, which she does, but I'm also imagining her, like, keeping to herself and sort of not really talking to anyone and slowly learning to understand her friends, growing close without meaning to, and slowly opening up. I mean, if she's a hothead, naturally she'll want to put on a different front so no one knows the real her. And tell me an episode with her blowing up at some villain for putting Wally in danger wouldn't go so hard after episodes and episodes of her being all calm and quiet. Fact. I love Clarion.
Time to get the old band together. Dude, we're getting the band back together.
Fact. I love Kid Wicked.
Someone should put a bell on you.
Why isn't Kid Wicked in more stuff? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I know a character that no one else knows about. Okay, skip a few episodes. Again, it's all normal stuff. The helmet episode, though, that's good. Especially Wally being like, I still don't believe in magic, and keeping the helmet. That's funny. Good job. The episode in the desert is a good episode, but it is used poorly. Robin's instinct to call Batman, good. Bad stuff now. Artemis being woken up by Wally. She has a good reaction, kind of acting scared, backing away immediately. That's good. Unfortunately, after that, it's a little crummy. Why would someone who's trying to keep their identity a secret from everyone say she's supposed to kill the man in front of her? Why did we do that? I get it, she doesn't remember, but she's also an assassin who suffered years of childhood trauma. If she had mind enough to hide her name and life to join the team, she definitely wouldn't have given it up to Wally just because of some slight annoyance. They also don't spend enough time with just the two of them before they're sprung into action and being literally blown up. I feel like it should have been Wally waking her up, freaking out for a second, then becoming oddly defensive. Instead of getting mad that this was some test, it should have been her slowly analyzing Wally as he rambles on about being the hero that's going to save her. I also think it would be good if she pulled her bow on Wally and was going to kill him before being blown up. Then, we have tension in the future, we have a reason for Wally to question her about her identity, and, it's just fun. The Red Arrow episode. I don't care enough about him to care about his life. Sorry. He left in the first episode and only showed up here and there. This is why we need a different pilot episode. The prison episode, this was a good episode. It was weird, but it was good. Keep it perfect. All the characters are fun, and it's a good Miss Martian episode, which is rare. Episode 12, a top-tier episode for Artemis fans everywhere. It is structured well, and it has good pacing. The only issue is that Artemis has not earned this moment. She's pushy and angry and quite honestly stepping on Connor's toes in the daddy issue department. I feel like if she had the calm front, it would be more fun to see her slipping here and there as more and more of her team gets taken. I mean, she's in an unfamiliar place with unfamiliar people and being attacked from all angles. I also think it would be better if near the end, when Dick is like the last man standing, she snapped at him, and instead of snapping back and being quippy, he just stays quiet. He's taken aback that his analysis of Artemis was wrong, and seeing how scared she really is, he just shuts up and does what he can to get her and his team out of the situation. Of course, we've seen the episode, we know it doesn't work and she's left alone, but I think that would be better and it would move the plot more smoothly towards her reveal of being bad or whatever. Okay, so I fell asleep in episode 12, not gonna lie, but I did get through the part where Aqualad talks about the mole. Having Wally and Dick walk away together and just instinctively go back to them above the rest is very good. Their friendship is not utilized enough. Neither is Dick's circus abilities. What are they called? Trapeze artist? His gymnastics. That's it. His gymnastic abilities. Before I watched this show, I saw fan art of Dick doing gymnastic stuff and Wally being all proud while everyone else is freaked out. So naturally I thought it was in the show. Well, it isn't. In fact, the only episode they really dive into this is episode 24. By now you've probably noticed that I'm less in-depth and it's just things I don't like. 1, I'm tired. 2, the only good stuff I have left to talk about is just repeats of some good character moments or just me rewriting it. So yeah. Moving on, Zatanna is here! Yay! Zatanna and Artemis are fun. I feel like they would be better if Artie had my personality that I wrote for her, but whatever. Don't like Zatanna and Dick. They just don't work for me. I think it's because I always pictured Zatanna as a lesbian. Is she a lesbian? Okay, so she is not a lesbian. Miss opportunity, in my opinion. Red was the mole. He turns bad. Okay, let's talk about another one of my favorite episodes. Episode 16, Failsafe. This is a very weird, but a very good episode. I feel like it's another good Miss Martian episode, but I do remember watching it and being like, what the hell is going on? So in this episode, there's like this alien invasion and all of the Justice League dies, and like all of the kids have to like rise up and fight all the aliens that are there and save humanity, basically. And every single one of the kids dies except for Miss Martian. In the end, we find out that it was just a simulation.
Try to remember. What you experienced was a training exercise. Manhunter psychically linked the six of you within an artificial reality. You all knew this going in.
What you didn't know is that it was a train for failure exercise. No matter what the team accomplished, the scenario was designed to grow worse. But all that changed when Artemis died. Though consciously Miss Martian knew it was not real, her subconscious mind could not make that distinction.
A great story, great plot, great all around. One thing, the aftermath. I feel like we don't talk about this episode enough, guys. Personally, because as we all know, I'm a superhero. I feel like if one of my friends did that to me, there would definitely be, maybe just a few more questions. Like, hey, will this happen in the future? Is there a way to prevent them from accidentally putting me in a coma and or throwing me into a simulation where I might die? I feel like we would have more questions. I just know that Robin would not let that down. Let's be real here. If he watched Wally West die, if he knew Wally died, there is no way she would be getting away with that. Anyway, that episode was good. I just thought it was weird that it's not really brought up again. So after that, Superboy goes back to his pod. At this point, I don't care. I just want them to make up their minds. Okay, episode 24. This made me so sad. Not because the episode is emotional, but because the episode isn't emotional. I was so disappointed. Not only did they not have Wally, but they didn't have the emotional drama I crave. I feel like Wally should have been included. The rest of the episode plays out. And like my complaints in the last video, Mr. Daddy Issues ×2 over here, he would have a heart-to-heart moment with Batman. That way, our big heroes are finally useful and not just smacking down the kids anytime anything happens. Like anything, I swear these kids could look in the wrong direction and like freaking Shazam would show up and be like, excuse me, that is incorrect. Like, bro, what? And that is where I'm going to end it. You can tell that around episode 13, I fell off the train. Everything seemed to slow down and become a bit muddied, so I just sort of let the train run over me at that point. The characters became repetitive. I felt like I was watching the same few episodes over and over because, like, no one was developing, and then everybody died in the next season, so, like, who even cares? Not to kick a dead horse, but Teen Titans had more character development in season 1 than the original cast ever really reached. And I mean, that's not their fault. Half of them are 6 feet under. Like, hard to develop when you're in a grave. I understand. Also, you could prevent that from happening because you are writing the show. In all of this rambling, I can firmly say, yes, the first 13 episodes in season 1 of Young Justice are good. They are fun and creative, and I personally really enjoyed it. Sadly, I guess the fun had to end at some point because it did. So here we are. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you would like to hear any more ramblings about my opinions on DC characters. If you have anything that you would like me to review or say that it is bad for valid reasons, let me know. Comment it down below. And that's about it. I still think my point was valid.